Dudes and Dudettes, Mr. Theorist here, and welcome to 2020, the year anyway. Sorry it's been a month since my last upload. I said in the last video that I'll try and make it more frequent, but at the same time I wasn't 100% sure. Well, Christmas, New Year happened, and I'm literally, as of this video, still getting over a viral infection. So things have been hectic as anything. Excuses, as I always seem to whenever I have these long periods without uploading. I'm sorry guys, I did kind of warn, so I wasn't 100% in my last video. I'm in the process of creating this other video that it's going to be a while, and it might even come out in segments. I don't want to say anything about it yet because I need to do one elements of it, but it's a fun little video that's going to be coming out in the next couple of months or so. All I would say is it's Star Wars related, so I hope you guys enjoy it when that eventually comes out. This isn't meant to be a vlog though, this is actually a video. As you can tell by the thumbnail and the title of the video, whatever I decide to have them be, this is Titans, the Netflix / DC universe show. That if you've watched it, then awesome, that's why you're watching this video. If you've not watched it, recommend go watching it and then come back and watch this video. And this is kind of like a prediction video. This is a balls to the wall style prediction, because not only am I going to predict what's going to happen next season on Titans, so that'll be season 3, but also what will happen in season 4 and in season 5. This is my prediction that it will have 5 seasons. As I say, it's very balls to the wall. If all of this turns out to be true, yes, you guys very definitely have to subscribe if you haven't already. In the many years it will take for the 5 seasons of Titans to come out, if it ever does. If only one turns out to be true, you come on, bring a friend along and get them to subscribe to this channel. The subscribers keep growing. You guys are enjoying watching videos. We've got new people commenting on videos every day. So yeah, so I'm just going to jump into it. You're going to listen to me kind of ramble a bit as I give you kind of my prediction on Titans season 3, 4 and 5, which I believe will be the 5th season. Sorry if I cough randomly during the video, but as I say, I'm just getting over this viral infection. Luckily, it's just a cough that's left, but it is an annoying cough. It just will not leave me alone. So, let's do this. Season 3 of Titans. What are my predictions? Well, bearing in mind where season 1 and 2 have been so far, at the end of season 1, Trigon, Rachel, aka Raven, as us comic book fans would know her more better as, it is her father, and at the end of season 1 he was kind of released from his prison place. Raven was the only one that could release him, and it ended with Dick Grayson being evil. And then season 2 opens and the whole team gets turned evil. Trigon basically uses the whole team going evil to break Raven's heart quite literally, so that he can take her heart out of her chest and place it in her forehead, giving Raven the iconic red crystal third eye look on her forehead. With this new crystal in the head, Raven becomes super powerful and she dusts Trigon. So what we can gather already is that when a season sets up a villain, Titans seems to have, yes, look, this is the big villain that's been set up all season. Next season, we're just going to deal with them, get them out of the way, because that's not the point. That's the cliffhanger thing to get you to carry on watching, where actually, in fact, this other thing is the main villain. I don't think they'll do the exact same trick for season 3. I think Blackfire coming to Earth, or just somehow possessing, it's not quite 100% confirmed on what this weird purple goop thing does, whether it is Blackfire or if it's just a drony thing that makes people look like Blackfire and act like her, or whatever. But it seems like Blackfire is set up to be the season 3 villain. I think she will be, but just as season 2 had Deathstroke be the major villain. He wasn't really the big, he was there as a threat, but wasn't kind of, taking him down wasn't the purpose of the season. And I think the same going to happen with Blackfire. I think she's there to help develop Starfire's character, and she's there to be a threat. But I think that it's going to be more development of Raven fully developing her powers and gaining complete control while she resurrects Wonder Girl. Because that's clearly going to happen. Like, if she wasn't going to, why would she go after Themyscira? It seems weird, have her disappear, only to come back later on and go, I failed! Sad times. Maybe that's how Raven becomes the more emo-esque version that we know from the comics. Not quite sure, but I'm pretty certain that Wonder Girl's going to come back. We can develop more into Garth, the fact that he's traumatically scarred from the fact that he murdered a bunch of people in his tiger form at the Fun Fair at the end of season 2. Hawk dealing with his addiction and trying to balance it with being a hero. Dove being Dove, we'll get to her later. And Dick Grayson being the new Nightwing, the team leader, and him basically forming his team and kind of creating them into the perfect unit they need to be for any future events. So it'll be more character driven, just like season 2 is. Blackfire will kind of be the villain. They'll defeat Blackfire, Starfire will gain her powers back, Starfire will develop a bit more, and that's kind of the main plot that will happen. But at the same time, we will start to notice that Bruce Wayne is talking to them about the fact that Jason Todd has disappeared, and I think that's going to be one of the major factors and character plots of the season, is that Jason Todd will vanish and we'll find out that he's been kidnapped by the Joker. I don't think we'll get Joker on screen. I think it will be more, you'll see a silhouette of him, he'll giggle and laugh, Jason will be tortured, and Jason will die, or die, for those of you that know where I'm kind of going with this. If they want to be really awesome, they could possibly tie in Gotham and Titans together, say they are actually the same Earth, because as we know from Crisis of Infinite Earth, that like all of the DC universes, they are all interconnected. The fact that the original 96 Batman, the one that goes pow, poof, that exists because like the Robin, the actor who played the Robin in that is in the Crisis events. We know that Titans exists as one of the multiverses because they have a little reference at one point. So technically Titans do exist. I don't know if Gotham is referenced. I've not seen Crisis, I only know things that I've seen off YouTube. So if you connect Gotham and Titans together by having the Gotham Joker be the Joker that kidnaps Jason Todd and kills him, would mean that you essentially have connected Gotham into this multiverse as well. If you wanted to, they probably won't know, but hey ho, it's an idea. So yeah, the main thing that will come out of season 3 is Starfire getting her powers back and Jason Todd being dead, with the end scene of that season setting up the villain for the next one will be the silhouette of a guy in some sort of weird mask, wearing a jacket and a hoodie and guns. Now those of you that know what I'm on about, I am on about Red Hood, which kicks us into season 4, which will be the season of Red Hood and who Red Hood is. And it will get revealed that, spoiler warning if you don't know who Red Hood is, everyone gone that doesn't want spoilers. Red Hood is Jason Todd. From the comic books, Jason Todd iconically is the Robin that dies, but it turns out he didn't actually die, or he did die and he got resurrected by Lazarus Pit, depending on which version that they want to use, but they probably won't use Lazarus Pits because Ra's al Ghul hasn't been around, or they could bring Ra's al Ghul in. We don't know. But basically he decides that Batman's way doesn't quite work, so he becomes an anti-hero and basically uses guns to put down criminals instead. Eventually Batman manages to bring him round, but in this case it won't really be Batman, it'll be more Nightwing that will bring him round to the side of good again, where he'll just use guns to incapacitate rather than kill thugs. And he will kind of be the season villain, just as Blackfire and Deathstroke and Trigon, they are kind of the season villains, but there'll be like character developments going on the side, and this might even be a time where we'll have an anti-team to fight off against the Titans, and maybe Jason Todd will be the leader of that anti-team for a bit, so he'll be the evil Dick Grayson character, but then eventually turn good and maybe help the Titans to defeat this evil team that will exist. You could even have like Terra could come into this. Blackfire could still be around after season 3, so she could be on that evil team. Jericho could gain a new body and maybe he decides to be on the evil team, or maybe something happens and maybe Jason Todd manages to convince Ravager, which is the actual comic book name for Deathstroke's daughter, to join the team. So you've got like characters we've already met that have now turned evil because of Jason Todd, that they have to defeat. It might because they probably won't kill, or it won't be as evil as previous seasons. Maybe it won't feel as good, but I think that might be quite cool, and you'd be able to delve into like backgrounds and how characters feel about fighting off against their former friends. It could be quite an interesting dynamic there. But that season will end with them winning, all the Titans back together, the evil team is defeated, and all of a sudden, well, the lightning bolt happens at the end of the season. Instead of us getting a new season villain being set up, instead a speedster will appear out of nowhere, and he will tell them, I am from the future, I'm here to stop something, a big catastrophe from taking place. End of season. Now season 5 will open up. This will be the final season. This is when the things that have been set up in the background will all come into fruition. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But he explains at the beginning of the season that he is from the future, in a world where a tyrannic ruler has defeated all the heroes of this world. Batman's dead, Superman's dead, Wonder Woman's dead, everybody's dead, and even the Titans are defeated. Someone among the Titans has betrayed everyone, gained some sort of power, and basically decided to take over the world. And this new massive threat is, damn it, the name has just literally escaped. Monarch. Sorry guys, it literally escaped me for a second, getting all excited doing this video. Monarch is this this Hitler almost-esque character who is basically decides that the only way to end crime is basically to rule with an iron fist. But by doing so, they'll wipe out all the other heroes and take over themselves. So the Speedster has come back in time to basically try and stop it. Now this is a loose interpretation of the comic storyline that has the Monarch character, who this is an old comic from, I believe it's the late 80s or 90s, I'm not 100% sure. I only know these kind of things because I know geeks and they discuss these kind of things, and I've loosely read it, but I've only kind of read like the beginning and then the end of it. It goes on for, it delves quite far across the comic storyline. But the storyline opens up with a character that we've never met before, who's just a man who lives in the future. He then tricks Monarch's men because they're trying to create super soldiers into giving them powers, and he uses these powers to travel back in time into the present, which is where the comic books are set. And he basically talks to all the heroes and says, look, one of you betrays the rest. I don't know who it is. And this is it's kind of almost like, imagine the Crisis events. It's kind of like that, kind of, in the comic. It sets it up, the story, in this like one-off comic, and then the story kind of follows through everyone else's comic stories, like Batman, Superman's, Wonder Woman. This character will turn up and talk to the character and kind of interrogate them to try and figure out who Monarch is. Now at the very end of the comic story arc, no one has any idea who it is, and it turns out everyone's really excited. We're going to finally find out who Monarch is. And Monarch turns out to be Hawk. Yes, out of Hawk and Dove, Hawk turns out to be this big scary hero that killed everyone off. He gains his powers from his future self or something, and basically that's what ends up happening, is he becomes this evil character. Now I'm not suggesting Hawk should be the new Monarch. In fact, I think the new Monarch will be Dove. The reason I'm thinking this is for several, is that Dove is betrayed in these comics. She's quite violent, she loves beating on criminals, she can do it without it affecting her too much. And also at the end of season 2, where they should have killed Dove off instead of Wonder Girl, but they killed Wonder Girl off and deliberately made it look, oh look, we're going to kill Dove. No wait, we're not killing Dove, Dove's still alive. Now, iconically, Dove is one of those characters that has died in the comic books. So to have her dead, her alive, and Wonder Girl dead, I guess it's kind of a way of us going, huh, what? But I also think they're leaving it as a setup. They're also setting up Hawk to be, he's quite aggressive, he loses his anger, he's on drugs a lot, and they're kind of setting him up to be quite a broken character. And I think he's going to be kind of the swerve. Like, Monarch will turn up, everyone will go, oh look, we know this storyline, this is Hawk. It'd be interesting to see how Hawk becomes Monarch. Then it gets revealed, no, it's not Hawk, Dove. The character that's meant to be kind of one of the hearts and soul of the show is actually going, potentially in the future, is going to become this psychotic villain. And it'll be interesting because you could then touch upon the fact that her friend, Wonder Girl, who maybe Raven doesn't save her, or does save her, and other bad things come from it. The fact that she had to deal with Hawk's addiction for so long, and maybe that ground her. Her first boyfriend, Dick, was willing to go through hell and risk their relationship for it. Like, there's a lot of like stuff they could use to build her up to be this evil Monarch character, and it's a good way to end kind of like the Titan story being one of the Titans turns on everyone else in the future, and maybe they do have to kill modern Dove because modern Dove is closer to becoming Monarch than we would expect. So I think that's a really cool thing they could do with this. And that, guys, is kind of how I would plot out. And I'm guessing, and I'm predicting, this is kind of the storyline and plot of Titans 3 through 5. I hope you've enjoyed this crazy fan theory prediction. As I say, there are things I know because I've either read some material or I know people who have read it, and I've had good discussions because I love to geek out with people, but I haven't read all of the comics myself. So what I'm talking about is my interpretation of the information I have. So if some of it's a bit loose and off, fair enough, but at the end of the day, it's TV show adaptations of comics. They are loose adaptations as it is. So yeah. And yeah, like, Jason Todd has to become Red Hood, because otherwise why else would you have Jason Todd Robin? You could have skipped Jason Todd entirely and gone straight to Tim Drake. They deliberately brought Jason Todd in, not just as a name drop, so oh look, it's the second Robin, but they have made him a total dick of a character, completely. Yes, he Series 2, he's kind of softened a bit and he's growing warmer to the characters, but he's still the dick Jason Todd. So they are clearly setting him up to be Red Hood. So yeah, Blackfire. I don't really care about Blackfire. She's just the sister of Starfire. Meh. I can't see them really using her as like the big epic threat of season 3. I feel Jason Todd being killed off and being brought back as Red Hood is a much bigger plot for season 3 than anything else. But as I say, guys, that's kind of everything I'm predicting. If I am right, as I say, please come back to the channel and hit that subscribe button. If you've already subscribed, if all your friends are already subscribed, leave a nice little comment. Leave a comment after you watch this video and tell me what you guys think. If you watch Titans, what's your prediction on where we could end up in season 3 and onwards? Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. It really does. I know it sounds silly, but it does help the channel a lot. If you don't like the video, hit dislike as well. Interaction with the channel does help. And if you want notification for whenever I do manage to upload, please hit the bell icon as well. And until the next video, guys, which hopefully will not be too long this time, I will see you guys later. Bye.